What up, guys? Your boy Quake, and Gucci Mane has officially broken his silence when it comes to this Pooh Shiesty robbery that happened involving him and Pooh Shiesty's father and Big 30 and a few other people. Gucci did what he knows to do best, and that is go in the booth, not to respond on social media, not to respond on Twitter or anything else, but simply go in the booth and speak whatever his truth is, whatever his side of things are. So let's go over this track. It features one verse and a hook, so it's a very short record, but it addresses everything that everybody's been asking about. So the verse starts out saying, "Tell the truth, you went out like a real crash dummy. And after all that, boy, you still signed to me. I'm like Birdman, and yeah, this is my cash money." So here, he's basically saying, listen, what Birdman did with Lil Wayne and still have him signed to him, and had all those issues, blah, blah, blah. He still made money off Lil Wayne, regardless. So this is the same situation. You're still signed to me, regardless of you trying to pressure me into releasing you from my label. And then he continues, says, "And you're fat flunky, he a stone cold junkie." Here he is dissing Big 30, who is a little bit on the heavier side, and he's calling him a junkie as well. And then he says, "You know I got my bread up. I always keep my head up. I thought it was a business meeting, but it was a setup. I walk in the room, you can feel the pressure building. Guy dapped me up the whole time they plotting against me." So here he's talking about, obviously, the incident that happened with the robbery. He says he felt like it was a business meeting. That's what the conversation was about. And he knew something was off when it came to this. So it looks like Pooh Shiesty was probably reached out to Gucci and said, "Hey, I want to talk to you about my business, about my record label, my contract." And Gucci thought, hey, this is a regular meeting. This is, what artists do. They want to ask questions about their label, their issue, their situations, whatever. And that's what he thought he was going to. Then he says, "I don't take it personal. For me, it's only business. And I don't want to conversate if it ain't about no millions. What don't kill you make you stronger. Don't bite the hand that feeds you." Here he's saying none of this stuff he took personal, and he's saying basically like, look, dude, I helped you. I'm the one that put you in a position to win and make money. And yet you're turning on me, which I can understand from Gucci's perspective, right? Like, because Pooh Shiesty, from what I remember, didn't really have a huge buzz until Gucci signed him. Then he had this kind of take off, especially with the record with Lil Durk, Back in Blood. That's where he really started to have his own run. Continuing on, my money keep getting longer. Now these haters got amnesia. I got to move tactical, every move magical. And I'm from East Atlanta, but the diamonds come from Africa. They love you when you broke, but they hate you when you winning. And when you take a loss, it's when the haters get to grinning. It's all on you, can't be wearing no disguises. You play stupid games, then you win stupid prizes. Throughout this, the way I look at it is Gucci's like above all this stuff is basically what he's saying. Like, I'm not going to, do something really dumb that's going to take me out of position to be great. That's why he says, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. You're doing all this dumb stuff, and look where you're ended up. You're back in prison, and you're possibly facing life in prison because that's what Pooh Shiesty is facing. He tried to get bond, and they denied it. He's gonna get at least 10 to 30 years. And was it really worth it? No. None of this stuff was worth it. But continuing on, he says, "Some people like to take a guy's kindness for weakness. I pulled up on business, but y'all was on some weak stuff. The artist and the CEO, I wear a lot of hats. They smile in your face, then they stab you in your back." So here he's saying, hey, we're supposed to have this business meeting. Instead, you turned on me. And then this is where he kind of goes at his father. He says, "You learned from your daddy, so I guess that's hereditary. I'm that same guy that put money on your commissary." So he's just talking about, hey, dude, I'm the one that was there when nobody was there for you. I put money in your commissary. I signed you. I put you on. If it wasn't for me, none of this money that you got and stuff would ever be happening. And to a certain extent, Pooh Shiesty has to respect that. So I don't know what the label contract is, if it's really that bad. If it's a bad contract, really that's on Pooh Shiesty, man. It is what it is. Know your business, because artists take advantage, labels take advantage, people take advantage of people all the time. That's why you got to read contracts. He says, "I'm that same guy that put money in your commissary. A guy set up to play like Suge Knight did with Dre, but I ain't Eazy-E, and this ain't back in the day." Here, Gucci's referring to the old classic incident of Suge Knight allegedly pressuring Eazy-E to release Dr. Dre off of Eazy-E's Ruthless Records label because he was having issues with Jerry Heller and all this stuff. And There were rumors that Suge Knight, basically took the Pooh Shiesty approach. But that was in the 90s. We're in 2026 where there's cameras everywhere. It's a dumb route to take in today's time. Back then, you could get away with it a lot easier because nothing was really recorded back then. It was very hard to get any type of evidence and video on people doing bad things. Continuing on, he said, this 1017, the label, I built this from the ground up, and I'd be damned if I let a guy take my stuff down. Pressure on my chest, but I still ain't pressed. Pen to the paper, but it's under duress. So here he's going the lawyer talk. He's saying, listen, I might have signed the documents to get you released, but it's under duress, so it doesn't count. And that's true. When you sign something under duress, and what that means is basically under pressure, under, a gun, having a gun to your head, obviously, is being under pressure. It doesn't count because that's not somebody like doing it because they want to do it. That's doing it because their life might be in danger. Then he continues, says, read between the lines, I don't settle for less. Step up to the plate, my guy, life is a test. Man, they on that broke stuff, and I'm a rich exec. The head guy in charge, it's my name on the check. Guys jealous of me, dog, remind me of my ex. Another day, another dollar, on to the next. Basically saying there's levels, and I'm way up here, and you're way low there, and you're just mad at that situation. And, hey, you're not a big deal. I'm moving on. It's not that big of a deal. And I know people don't like to hear this, right? People don't like to hear this because Gucci's a street guy, and he's done all this street stuff. But at Gucci's age, he's, I think, 50 years old. Let me make sure what age he is. He's damn near 50 years old. 46, so 4 years away from 50 years old. At a certain point, man, you would want people to mature up. See, it's both sides of the table, right? Where damned if you do, damned if you don't. If Gucci would have acted in a more gangster way, they'd be like, oh, that's Gucci. That's the old Gucci we love. The pot belly Gucci, the Gucci that was really gangster like that. And then if he does that and ends himself and he lands in prison and jail and ruins whatever he's got going on, then people will clown him and be like, you're a moron. You're a CEO. Why are you doing this? Then if he goes the CEO route, oh, you're not a gangster, you're a sucker, you're this and that. So you can't please everybody. I think Gucci did the right thing. He's at an age where this stuff, he's way past this, man. He did this in his 20s. He's been through it already. He served prison time. Doesn't really care about this, man. And that's a great place to be in, man. And then the chorus says, I done been betrayed. Now my heart turned cold. My heart turned cold. My heart turned cold. So that's basically the hook. It says, keep that fake love. I don't want it no more. And then at the end, he says, big Guap, CEO, 1017 for life, big Gucci. This is for all the crash dummies out there. I don't know what the F you thought. Still getting money. This ain't that. 1017 is Gucci. So that's the record. A lot of people have mixed feelings about it. Like I said, some people feel like it's a great kind of approach to things. Some people just don't like the track at all. And I agree. I'm not really a fan of the track. I feel like Gucci lost his kind of flair in the music. At least that's what it sounds like. He sounds really like just... I don't know. It sounds like offbeat almost, which is a crazy thing to say, but it just doesn't sound good, man. Like, it's not that Gucci that, like, if he was going on a track dissing people, he would be way more aggressive and just have that type of hunger. I think now he's kind of stepping back from the music and just letting whatever artists he signs do their thing. And that's the CEO level. That's the level that he's at right now. And nothing you can get, be upset about, man. I think it's a dope track regardless in terms of his response, but I think the overall track, like the way it sounds, I'm not really a fan of. I'm never going to listen to this track again, but at least Gucci responded on wax, and we'll see what happens, man. I think Pooh Shiesty's got a lot to battle, man. He's going to face some type of time, and it's not going to be good. So he just literally was out for 4 or 5 months and back in a cage now. And he had momentum, man. Even if you sign a bad contract, man, you got momentum. Work your way through that contract. Be a man. You signed it. Honor the contract, no matter how bad it is. You have to honor your contracts. That just is what it is. I signed a bad contract one time. I honored it. I finished my contract. I'm out of it. It just doesn't make sense to go this route. Now you're risking your freedom. You're ruining any type of money you would get. It's dumb. It doesn't make any sense. But let me know what you guys think of the track. That's it for today's video. If you guys want to support this channel further, you can do so at patreon.com/diverse mentality. For just $3 a month, you can get my videos uncut and raw the way I intended them to be, but couldn't because of YouTube. Plus, you also get access to our Discord community where we have a great community talking about hip hop and various other things. It's very dope. So only $3 a month. I'd really appreciate the support. Also follow us on social media at QuakeGW and at Diverse Mentality. Thank you so much for the support, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.